So hello guys, welcome to Pepcoding, and in this video we will be solving our question display array. Okay, so first of all let me explain the question to you. So suppose, okay, let me raise this. Okay, so the question basically says that we have an array, suppose 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. Okay, the indices will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and we need to print all the elements of this array, all the elements of the array. So basically 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60, but the condition is that we need to do this thing recursively. Okay, so we need to recursively print all the elements of this array, right? So I hope the question is clear to you guys. Now let us move to the solution approach of this problem. Okay, solution approach of this problem. So like every recursive function, what we will do is we will set our expectation that what we are expecting from our recursive function. Then we will define our faith, and then using this faith we will try to meet our expectation. Okay, this might sound a little weird at the starting, but once I explain to you guys what we are doing, you will understand, right? So now let me first show you our recursive function, right? So this is our recursive function. Let me take it here. Is it visible? Yes. Okay, so see, this is our recursive function display array, and using this function I am going to print all the elements in this array, right? So first let us see what will be our expectation, right? So display array expectation. So initially I will pass the array when I will call this recursive function first time. Okay, this is a function, so obviously I need to call it. Okay, so when I will be calling this function, what do I expect from this function? I expect from this function that it will print all the elements from 0 to 5, right? That is why I'm calling this function, that is why I am using recursion. That is my expectation from this function. Okay, and at the place index initially I will pass 0, right? Because I am starting from the first index, right? So my expectation from this function array comma 0 is that it will print all the elements of this array, right? So this is my expectation. Now let us see what should be my faith. What should be my faith? Not talking about the faith. What is my faith? If I say that I am display array comma index 0, right? That is I am standing right here. So if I say that my neighbor, that is 1, knows how to print all the elements from 20 to 60. If my faith is that my neighbor knows or how to print all the elements from 20 to 60, so using this faith can I meet my own expectation? Okay, let us see. So my faith is if I call display array for my neighbor 1, my neighbor knows how to print 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, right? So this is my faith that my neighbor knows how to print these 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60, right? So now let us try to meet our expectation using our faith. Okay, so using this faith, can I build my expectation? Yes, yes. Let us see how. Okay, if I say that I'm at the 0th index, and I print myself. Okay, I print myself. And what is my plus? What is my faith? What is my faith? That my neighbor knows how to print the remaining elements. This is my higher level faith that my neighbor knows how to print remaining elements. So I printed 10 and I called my neighbor. Now my neighbor knows how to print 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So our work is done. The whole array is printed, right? So this is exactly what was expected from me. From array 0, what was expected is it will print all the elements in this array, right? It will print all the elements of in this array, and using our faith and expectation we were able to meet it. Okay, now let us try to write a code for this, and then we will do a little dry run. Even if this is not clear right now, it will be very clear apparently, don't worry. Okay, so Let us first write a small code and then we will see. Okay. Okay, let me move to my editor. So here I also need to create a scanner, I guess, right? We are given nothing, so I will create a scanner also. Scanner sc equal to new scanner system dot in, right? Int n equal to scanner dot next int. What is this n? This n is the size of my array. Right, now let us create an array of size n. Right, now let me take elements of this array as input. I is less than n, I plus plus, array of I is equals to scanner dot next int. Right, so this work is done. Now I have all my input. Now what I need to do, I need to call my display array function. Display array function I passed my array to it, and initially I passed the index 0. The index 0. Why 0? Because we will be starting from the first index. Now what is my expectation from this function? My expectation from this function is that it will print all the elements of my array, right? So now let us try to meet this expectation here in this function. So what I told you guys is I will print myself. So system dot out dot println, I will print myself, but what am I? Array at index, right? ARRIDX. I have printed myself, and now I will keep faith on my neighbor, that is the next element to me, that it knows how to print the remaining elements. Okay, so this is my recursion. I did my work, and now I have faith on my neighbors that they will do their work. Okay, so array comma index plus 1. I called my neighbors, right? So this much is done. Now let me take this snippet to my whiteboard. Let me take this to my whiteboard and let us try to figure out the base condition, right? Let me try to figure out the base condition for this. Okay, so let me take this to my here, right? So I hope it is visible to you guys, right? Okay, so see here what I did was, this was my array initially. Okay, I'm pretty bad at drawing at this whiteboard, so please don't mind it. Okay, so this is my recursion stack. Okay, this is my recursion stack, and what am I providing to my function? I am providing the array comma index, right? Array comma index. So suppose the address of this array is 4k. So initially the first call was made for the array and index 0. For the array and index 0. So when I made the first call, what was my expectation from this? My expectation from this function was it will print all the elements. Okay. And for meeting that expectation, what I did was I printed myself. That is answer. See here. I printed myself, and I kept faith on my neighbor that it knows how to print others. Okay. So I was here, I printed this 10, and then I called my neighbor that you know how to print all the other elements, you do your work. Okay. So the next call was made with the array for index 1. Now the index 1 will do the same thing. What it will do is it will print itself, system.out.print. It will print itself, and it will keep a faith that its neighbor know how to print them. Right, so it printed 20 and it called its neighbor, so 4k, and the call is for now the second index. Okay, now again I reached at 30. 30 will print itself and have faith that 40, 50, 60 know how to print them. So it made a call to index number 3. Right, now 40, I'm at 40. 40 will say okay, I will print myself, my neighbors know how to print them. So again 40 printed, now call to the neighbor 4k and call to the fourth index. Now I am here at 50. 50 again says I know how to print myself, I will call my neighbor and it will print itself. Okay, so I printed 50 and I made a call to index number 5. So now I am at index number 5, right? Now at index number 5, 60 said I know how to print myself, and I will make a call to my neighbor. I will make a call to my neighbor and it will print itself. So 4k to the sixth index. But unfortunately, there was no neighbor of 60. No neighbor of 60. That is, we ran out of elements. Our answer is already done, right? So what we need to do here is, this is my base case. That is, when I run out of elements, that is when there are no more elements to print, simply return. Okay. So we have figured out our base case. Now the last thing is, I hope now you guys realize how faith and expectation work in recursion. Okay, faith and expectation is basically when we are keeping a higher level faith, what we do is we complete our own task, that is 10 printed itself, and it had a faith that these guys know how to print themselves. So it called 20. Now 20 printed itself and had a faith that these guys know how to print themselves, right? So this is the game of faith and expectations, and this is how we meet our expectation using our faith in recursion. Okay, so now let us write our base condition in the code. So if index becomes equal to array.length, simply return, because there are no more elements to print. Okay, let's see. Okay, accepted. Let me try to submit this code. So the answer is correct. So that was all for this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to Pepcoding. Thank you.